Let's look at an application that I might be able to use where I can use solving a system of equations to find out some information. Let's say, for example, that I was able to buy a piece of property fronting a river. Who wouldn't want something like that? And my property, I want to fence it in as well. Let's say, for example, that the perimeter of this property is 1,000 feet. Let's say that I have $9,500 that I've spent on the fencing. And the fencing, well, on the front, I'm going to use a more expensive fencing. So that one's going to cost $25 a square foot. On the sides, I don't really care what I'll use. My neighbors can look at my fence if it's only a $5 per square foot fence. So how do I start to shape this problem in such a way that I can determine what the dimensions of my yard is? Well, first of all, to determine the dimensions here, we're just going to designate some variables. Let's say, for example, that the length of my field or my lot is X and the width is Y. We know that we have a distance of X over here and a distance of Y there. Well, right there, that's going to help me start to create one equation. So I can say that the perimeter then is X plus Y plus X plus Y equals 1,000 feet. Or 2X plus 2Y equals 1,000 feet. Now notice that's one equation, but it has two unknowns. I can't solve it for a particular number for X and Y. There could be lots of answers. I only want one specific answer. I'm given one more piece of criteria in the problem that help me identify what's the one specific answer that fits my situation. And that is the fact that I've spent $9,500 on fencing material. So X amount of feet right here, I've spent $25 per square foot, or per X. So 25X. On the sides, I spent 5 times for every Y feet. So plus 5Y. And over here, 5Y. And the total cost equals $9,500. Obviously, I didn't put any fencing on the riverside. I want to hop in whenever I want to. So let's rewrite this one down and clean it up a little bit to make it 25X plus 10Y equals 9,500. Well, there's one equation that I have. Here's another equation I have. So therefore, I have 2 equations and 2 unknowns, which makes this a system that has a possible solution. Let me just kind of write it and clean it up a little bit. So what do we say? 25X plus 10Y equals 9,500. Well, which method do you want to solve this system? I like the addition method. So in order to do that, I'm going to multiply the top equation by -5. Keep the second equation the same. Put my brackets just to protect my system so I'm able to look at my work, understand what I'm doing. I'm left with a 15X equals 4,500. And then X looks like it appears to be 300. So I realized that for this criteria, 1,000 feet of perimeter and a $9,500 budget, under those two things, the perimeter of this part of my property is 300. How do I find out what the Y is? Well, I can take that back in and plug it into my perimeter equation. So X back into this one, 2 times 300 plus 2Y equals 1,000. 600 plus 2Y equals 1,000. 2Y equals 400. Y equals 200. So it says then that the depth of my lot is 200. And so there's the dimensions of the area that I was able to enclose. I got 1,000 feet of fencing. I spent $9,500 on that fencing. And part of that fencing I spent $25 a square foot. And another part I spent $5 a square foot on that particular property. Well, let's say then that, maybe my wife was able to get me another, $6,500 or so. So that I was able to spend $16,000 on my dream fence. Would I be able to fence it at the $25 a square foot all the way around? Well, we can find out. We already know what the cost of this particular, how much I spent here. That's 25 times 300. I need some more working space over here. 0, 0, 15, 0, 0, 0, 6, 75. So that part cost $7,500. Well, I have 200 feet and 200 feet over here, which is 400. So how much would 400 feet of the 25 cost? It would cost an additional $8,000 to fence the left side and the right side of my lot with that more expensive fence. So $8,000 plus $7,500 together, that pops in at $15,500. So it appears that I am able to do it with 1,600 square feet of fence, or with $1,600. Let me check my work. Oh, I stand corrected. I was going a little too quickly. 2 times 6 is 8. So actually that's 10,000. I stand corrected. I wanted the fence so bad I kind of fudged my numbers on accident. Good thing I looked at it again, checked my work, looked for a mistake, and it's actually going to cost 10,000. 5,000 on this side, 5,000 on that side. So I'm going to be at $17,500. $1,500 past my budget for that particular fence. Alright, all that was just being said is that when we look at application problems, sometimes a very useful tool is using a system of equations. And most of the problems we're going to work with, there's going to be 2 different types of equations we can determine in that problem. And once we get 2 equations, then we can solve 2 unknowns and work our way forward to the problem to find out a solution. Hope that was a little helpful.